Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I'm back from not uploading for the past 3 weeks. My mouse broke and I didn't have a working one until a few days ago, which should explain why I haven't been able to edit a video for y'all to see. But I'm back with another working mouse that a friend gave me. He's a cool ass friend. Next week I'll be making another recap video about him and some other stuff, so stay tuned. This video is going to be another story time video. I'm going to be talking about the time that me and one of my friends hung out one night and his parents ended up catching us smoking a blunt inside his room. This took place at a friend's apartment about 3 months ago. It was a cloudy day. It was also pretty cold, but that's the usual for anyone who lives in Minnesota, or pretty much anywhere in the northern United States. Nothing much was going on in terms of moves, so I just figured I can make another memorable moment by finding some. It ended up becoming a shit night for me and my friend, mainly for my friend because it was his parents that caught him and he was the one that had to face the consequences for it. Before we get into this video, please give this video a like, subscribe, and click the bell right next to the subscribe button to instantly get a notification every time I upload. Share this video to anyone that's ever been caught smoking some weed in their house by their parents when they weren't supposed to. And let's play His Parents Caught Us. Once upon a time, I had just gotten home from a regular, boring, tiring school day and a long, bumpy bus ride. I hated taking the bus because it gets cold in the early morning, there's no heat on the buses, and some of the roads that the bus driver takes are so bumpy, you'll be jumping in and out of your seat several times. Ever since my car got impounded, thanks to the poor tires I never replaced, the bus was the only option of transportation I had left. It took a solid 45 minutes to get myself home from school every day. I had transferred to an alternate school about a month before the story took place, and the bus I took at the time had 2 routes. I just so happened to be lucky enough to have these 2 routes bring me straight from the alternate school all the way to a couple blocks down the street from my house. I sat on my phone for a while, being bored as fuck like the usual. I don't have that many friends that would just hit me up out of the blue to hang out, nor do I really have that many people to just talk to. I didn't really have anything to use for entertainment at the time either. All I had was a phone, a bed to lay on, and a couple dressers. One of the dressers isn't even mine. My mom just has it in here just because she found it as the best place in a house to keep it. After a couple hours of straight boredom, I decided to hit a nigga up to see if I could come over for a few hours. Getting out of the house is always a win for me. Like I do in all of my story time videos, I'm going to replace real names with made up ones by calling this friend Chris. I had to ask my mom to bring me over to Chris's apartment because, like I said, my car got impounded. I was lucky to even have my mom bring me to Chris's apartment because she was about to sleep for her night shift at work. My parents aren't really reliable when it comes to rides because of shit like this, so this ride was cherishable. I got dropped off at the apartment, Chris buzzed me in, and as soon as we got comfortable, we started watching YouTube videos on his Xbox while we were talking. About an hour passed and Chris and I got fed up with being bored. We then agreed to the fact that we should buy some weed, smoke inside the crib, bump some music, and just chill out. Him and I had $10 each, but he wanted to save his money for a plug that would give him extra had he gone through him. I didn't mind blowing my money on the bag, considering myself lucky to even get a bag. At the time, I just wanted to smoke as much as possible to keep my problems out of my head. When you go through the pain of losing a friend, a job, a car, and almost getting your heart shattered, piece of shit human being, by the way, all in the span of a month, can take a toll on your mentality. Anyways, Chris's parents weren't home, nor did he know exactly when they were going to be back, but his confidence was enough to keep me in the mood. I hit up a guy I knew that sells and asked him for $10 worth of weed. He told me he would be down for the sale if we went over to him for it, which wasn't that much of a trip. The weed man lived about 2 or 3 blocks away from where we were. We walked over to the guy's house. That guy smoked me up for picking up the bag, and for the bonus, I got 2 swishers for free. After the sale, Chris and I went to Holiday to talk to another friend that worked there, turned some of Chris's change into cash, and then went to a veterans organization, and it was pretty fucking sketchy. Chris wanted to stop at the place and roll up the 2 blunts in the bathroom just so we would be able to instantly start the night for us, as soon as we got home of course, but he was kinda reckless when it came to him handling the weed. After he rolled the blunts, this nigga started taking fucking pictures in the bathroom trying to flex on Snapchat. I was getting sketched out because there were veterans literally walking up and down the hallways and attending their events, and I didn't want a motherfucker to walk in in, spot the blunt in his hand, and ask questions. It really doesn't take much to realize that old people who used to serve for our country would at least look down upon illegal substances being possessed in a veterans organization bathroom. I kept telling him that we should go back to his place right up until an old dude actually walked in the bathroom. At that point, Chris would quickly hide the blunt and we would leave right after. The guy I was with was pretty young and dumb, so you can kind of picture that for yourself. Eventually, we got back to Chris's place after suffering from the cold and a little rain. Within a few minutes of starting the night, we had the Xbox running, the blunt burning, the drinks chilling on the table, and ourselves being satisfied. We went in the room to smoke our last blunt because Chris was still unsure of when his parents would be home. We'd be able to just smoke in a smaller space and have the window closer to us, making it easier to air out the smoke in a smaller space. Here's where shit hits the fan for real. I say that because ever since this happened, me and Chris just haven't been able to hang out as often as we used to, nor have memories as good as before. Literally, right when we finish the blunt, we hear the door unlock, hear his parents walk through the door, sniffing loud as fuck, and walk into the room looking at us with a fucking death stare. For a second, I thought I was just as fucked as my nigga, considering how strict my parents are, but I actually got away with it. It was good news after all for me, but Chris's mom and dad did find out that we smoked inside his room, and they were pretty pissed. They've already told Chris not to smoke in the house, but of course he didn't give a fuck considering the long history of bullshit they've been through. Chris's stepdad actually told me that they weren't mad at me at all for partaking and literally smoking weed in their house because they had already given the responsibility to Chris when it came to following the rules at their crib. Chris was upset when this happened because he knew he was going to be grounded for a while, and sure enough, it was the majority of the case. His stepdad told him that he was going to get grounded along with an ass beating. Pretty fucked up if you asked me, but that situation wasn't in my control for me to do anything about. His parents also told me to leave. I told them that I didn't have a ride back home. My mom was sleeping for work, and everyone else I knew with a car would charge me for money. His mom then offered me a ride home, and sure enough, there was an offer well taken. In conclusion of this story, Chris's mom gave me a ride home even though she was low on gas. I asked her for a cigarette since I knew she was a smoker, but she said no. I thought it would be worth asking. Chris got grounded and had everything taken from him, even his phone. I wasn't allowed to come back to his house for a month. Ever since all that happened, I haven't hung out with Chris as often as I did beforehand. Like I said, I would end up sleeping another night and waking up to another boring day at school in the dissatisfaction of my best friend being locked up for some crazy shit. The end. The morals of this story is don't smoke inside the house. The house will collect the distinctive and bad smell. Plus, I'm sure someone at your place wouldn't appreciate it. Don't beat on your kids. Always treat them like how you would treat yourself. Don't bring drugs in the bathrooms, especially at a fucking veterans organization. Or better yet, just don't even do drugs. Stay doing your school online along with staying safe during this coronavirus pandemic. Get good grades. And keep watching my YouTube videos. Ever since this story happened, Chris has had issues with his parents. I was able to come over before the month of him being grounded ended, but he got grounded again, twice. As of today, he's still grounded, but he recently moved to his grandparents, which really affected my chances to change how often I can hang out with them, since he lives a lot further from my house now. I mean, I guess it's easier for him to sneak out and make moves with his friends. He's pretty young, so he won't get that freedom away from his family for a few more years. My mom still never found out about us smoking in their crib, which I would like to keep it that way. I do feel bad for Chris about this entire situation still. Had this never happened, he would probably still be at his parents'. Shit, I'd probably be at his crib right now instead of recording this. I think this is where I'm going to end the video. Thank y'all for watching. I really appreciate it. Once again, if you like this video, please make sure to give this video a like, subscribe and click the bell for daily post notifications, follow me on all of my social media, links will be in the description below, share this video to anyone that's ever got caught smoking in the house by their parents, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace out.